What's up, folks? Oh, y'all. Hope y'all are doing well today. Okay, they finally gave the CV90 its CITV. Fantastic. I didn't see that. I should probably pull up the patch notes, shouldn't I? Bit late for a dev server stream, yeah. Yeah, I probably could have streamed the dev server, but honestly, I really couldn't be bothered. I really just didn't care. We'll see how things go today. I'm not sure how, I'm not sure how long I'll stream, because I do actually have some reading homework that I do need to take care of before tomorrow. But we'll see. Policy's new vehicles confirmed. Yes. Guys, they should just fix the game. Yeah, I basically took like a 3-week break from War Thunder. I haven't really touched it since like August 20 something. I think it was like before Sprocket came out. Yeah, I don't think I played it since like August 24th. That was the last day I played it, so it's been 2 weeks since I last played. The next Sprocket stream will be Thursday. I was originally going to do it today, but patch day, so I figured, whatever, people. I've been doing a lot of Sprocket lately. I might as well, do something a little different. Do I like the new sounds? I haven't really had much chance to play around with them, so I can't say. Did you see the cursed shit in the COD Vanguard trailer? I didn't see the COD Vanguard trailer outside of like the single player reveal. But I've seen a couple of screenshots and it brings me immense pain. Oh god, an STG-44 with a drum mag? Oh. Downloaded War Thunder yesterday. I love the starter experience. I haven't experienced the grand problem yet. Well, the first like 3 tiers or so are really not too bad. It's really once you start getting into tiers 4 through 7 that you really start to hit the wall, the grind wall. But the first 3 tiers are pretty easy to get through. Yeah, I've actually been playing the old Call of Duties, like Call of Duty 1. I've been playing through that campaign just in my spare time. It's like, I needed a mindless World War II shooter that I could just go and enjoy. And COD is, the original Call of Duties are one of those for me. I've been having so much fun with that. Aren't they, like, really hard? They're not too difficult. I mean, I'm playing on normal. I'm not playing on the harder difficulties. Like, there can be some instances where it's like, well, shit, the game just screwed you over, but it's not bad.
Shut up, bless God, and get fruitful. Woo! Miles, you
Zolan!
magnificent son of a gun. Bring it in for 9 months XD.
Thank you for the tier 3 sub for 9 months, man. Holy shit. Thank you so much. Excuse me. Do you really still have to pay $60 for the old COD? No. If you go on Steam, and you search up the original Call of Duty, like you happen to find it in the list somewhere. Actually, it's easier to go to Call of Duty 2. Yeah. If you find Call of Duty 2, there's a Call of Duty War Chest for $30 that gives you Call of Duty 1, Call of Duty United Offensive, and Call of Duty 2, all in one go. And like, well, yeah, it's still expensive for a 20-year-old game. It's not a bad package. Missed the ASRock stream because I'm in Britain. Land to see running tanks. I'm gonna torture dog. Oh no. This music is... Let me double check. This is the Medal of Honor main theme. The original Medal of Honor game, like from the late 90s. That's why it's so, that's why it's so nostalgic. Oh. Emergency alert. Missing endangered elderly. Alright guys, we gotta go. Have you played Big Red 1? I've played it at friends' houses, but the thing about Big Red 1 was that it was only a console game, and I had a PC. So, the only time I ever played Big Red 1 was when I was playing at friends' houses. And Big Red 1 was really fun. I really liked the B-17 or B-24 mission, I think it was. Yeah, it was the B-24 mission. That was a really fun mission. But yeah, I've been playing the original Call of Duties, and some parts have been kicking my ass, other parts not so much. But it's been very fun and nostalgic for me. Well, I didn't bother playing Call of Duty World at War on anything above, like, regular difficulty, just because I didn't particularly care. Whenever I'm playing single-player shooters like that, I'm in it for a good time. I'm not really in it for the crazy hard challenge. I mean, I like Call of Duty 1 because it is a solid challenge. Like, it's not crazy difficult, but it's not ridiculously easy either. Like, if you play like an idiot, then you get wrecked. If you go charging straight into enemy fire, you die pretty damn quickly. Yeah, I think the original Call of Duty kind of nailed it as far as challenge is concerned. Hell, depending on how poorly this stream goes regarding War Thunder, maybe we'll play some Call of Duty. I wouldn't be opposed to that. I mean, we'd be kind of starting in like the middle of the campaign, but it'd be pretty fun. At least for nostalgic reasons. And at the very minimum, you guys get to hear the best M1 Garand sound ever made. The only M1 Garand sound in a video game that even comes close to that for me is the M1 Garand from Medal of Honor Allied Assault. I absolutely adored that. Alright. Go ahead and transfer on over. I hope they never remake the original COD be filled with microtransactions, season bullshit, and useless crap. I wouldn't mind seeing the original Call of Duty remastered, as long as they kept it the same. Or, like, they basically just added some modern improvements, like, made some of the textures more HD, like, added in support for... What the fuck is that off in the distance? I think there's another vehicle. Like, on the map edge, like, way out there. Unless that's the aircraft. Oh, you know what? That might be the aircraft. That was weird. Yeah, it's still out there. I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's just a dot of a vehicle out there somewhere. But yeah, I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind the original Call of Duties updated to, like, more modern graphics, or at the very minimum, more modern textures. Maybe fix some of the issues that were present with the original game. You know, just give it a facelift. Something like that would be fine to me. Although there is a certain charm about the original kind of graphics. So, here is one of the new vehicles. Let me pull up the list of vehicles. Here we are. Okay, so I was supposed to receive most of the vehicles as a rental, but that didn't happen. I think a vast majority of the ground vehicles have not been added to my account yet. Yeah, they haven't. I'm gonna have to spend my fucking gold to get them all. At least I got a bunch of silver. Purchased a bunch of this shit. Ugh. See here, the Martyr 1A3. I didn't want to have to spend all this gold on it, but whatever. Well, I mean, they already said that they were having technical issues, but it doesn't mean it's any less frustrating. Because, like, they were essentially rolling... they did something different this time around, where they, instead of, like, people sending in requests for specific vehicles, they tried to roll out all of the new vehicles as 14-day rentals to everybody. But they ran into some sort of technical issue where only part of the rentals were actually being added. And a vast majority of them were not. You mark something on the ground in RB, you don't see it, I think it's a bug. It's possible. There's a lot of bugs with this patch. Hey, at least we finally get DM63 APDS. For the Martyr 1, or Martyr 1A3, I should say. Let's see, what has it got? Okay, so the tank commander has NVDs, driver has NVDs, but the gunner has thermals. And this is by far the most common variant of the Martyr. I won't be streaming Sprocket today. Let me turn down the music a little bit. I will not be streaming Sprocket today just because I don't have the time. I've got to do some reading for my class tomorrow. Before the class starts, and so I'm burning however much time I spend streaming today is time that I'm burning that I could be doing homework. As it was, I had a class right before today's stream. Which meant that trying to get here on time was difficult, and I ended up having to delay the stream by an hour. So yeah, Martyr 1A3. M63 APDS. Very nice. Did we get an improved missile? No, it looks like the same. Not to say that the original Milan missile is actually a bad one. It's actually fairly decent. Hello, viele Kilometer Weitweg. There we go. Nailed it. Second try. If you have time, could you check the A26B? It got a new, much better 37mm. Are you sure it got a new gun, or are you sure, or are you, or did it just get a new sound? Hell, I don't even know if I have that damn thing. Which A26B? That's the question. Doesn't look like that one. Probably have to be this one, wouldn't it? No? Maybe it's in the modification section. No? No, it would be here, yeah. Yeah, I don't have the vehicle unlocked, so... Ah, Jesus Christ. And I'd really rather not have to spend gold on that. I had 79,000 when the patch dropped today. But because, like, none of the ground vehicles got added, I've had to get them all myself. It was real fucking pain. Oh yeah, the Jap... Jesus fucking... Alright, give me 1 second, guys. I'm gonna go grab a drink. I don't know why I'm coughing so much today. Okay. Cracking open a cold one. There we go. I'm drinking some San Pellegrino, which is like an Italian sparkling soda. It's pretty good. I don't know if you guys have ever had it. Flavor? Aranciata Rossa. It's like orange. It's like sparkling blood orange. I'm actually kind of curious to try out the APDS rounds on the Martyr. The art at least looks nice. Alright, and we've got this new testing ground. These sounds are kind of nice. Yeah, it sort of looks like a racetrack, although it is significantly better for testing vehicles than the previous version was. We have thermal sights. I wonder if the IRCM will, Woo! It's very nice that the vehicles will respawn rather than you having to restart the whole mission. The new sounds do sound really nice. Now, I wouldn't expect very much in the way of kills with this 20mm APDS. Like, I think it should work just fine against BMPs or something, but against MBTs or medium tanks, it's really going to struggle, so that's kind of why you have the missile. Did you test if the IRCM still affects the build? Sure, we can do that. You test drive are things like climbing gradients and different trenches or step heights to test the ability to climb obstacles, kind of like the test range at Sprocket. Yeah, that would be nice too. Although, as we both know, War Thunder doesn't do slopes very well. I mean, the Churchill, I believe, had a reputation, for example, of being able to climb up to like a 70-degree slope. Or some bullshit. Like, the thing was literally a mountain goat. Alright. So, the CV9040 bill. Yay! We finally have a CITV! It only took him for fucking ever. It doesn't appear to, at least from this angle. Let me move closer to in front of it and see if it affects it. It may be outside the effective arc. It's also nice that they put a cap circle here so you can replenish your ammunition. This is just a far better test environment than what we had before. It doesn't appear to. Let's see, is this too deep? Ooh, hang on. That is very nice. That is really cool. Oh, that's... Alright, I gotta give it to him. That sound is nice! Alright, is this too deep? Yeah, it's too deep. Alright. Restart and we'll... Yeah, I heard that they nerfed the Type 89 really hard, like it didn't get its, or it didn't get the stabilizer, or didn't get to keep the stabilizer. Oh no, I'm thinking of the Type 87, I'm sorry. Type 87, didn't get to keep its stabilizer because apparently only the prototypes had one, from what I understand. Did you show the stats of the bill? I want to know if it got the same changes as the TOE 2B. What kind of changes are we looking at? I mean, I don't remember the exact stats of the bill. I do know that it was more powerful than the TOE 2B. I want to try and get in front of... Okay, yeah, this is enough. Yep, IOCM does not affect the bill 2. It's also super nice that they added in aircraft targets, like flying aircraft targets, to test the proxy fuses. That way you can at least practice with vehicles that don't have a radar. Even if it's not ideal. The TOE 2B now has 100 millimeters of pen, but it should do much more post-pen damage. I see. Yeah, I mean, with 100 millimeters of pen, yeah, you really don't need... When you're hitting the top armor of enemy tanks, you really don't need that much penetration. I think the most heavily armored tank on the top is probably, in terms of just steel armor, and I'm not talking about ERA here, I think the most heavily armored tank on the top is the Mouse, and that's like 60 millimeters. You should listen what they did with the Vulcan? Yeah, sure, we can do that. It's so nice now that you can control... So I can control the bills from behind cover, essentially. Actually, let me restart the test drive. What I want to demonstrate is how big of a change finally being able to use this CITV is going to be for the Build 2. Okay, I'm pretty sure those proxy fuses weren't working because I had to hit him directly in order to kill him.
Shut up! Let's go! Get fruitful! Woo!
Gentlemen.
Hey! Anabarka, how you doing, man? Gentlemen? This is a bucket. Dear God. There's more. No. It contains a bucket. Dear God. Yeah, so in theory, this is kind of a bad angle, but in theory, you can pop over with the CITV, take a shot at somebody with the missile, guide the missile in, and be completely in cover. Actually, let me try and do this with this T90 here. Back up, so that way you can't see anything. So, missile away. All he can see is the launcher and this, and maybe part of the primary gunner's sight. So now you have a top attack missile that can engage people behind cover while you are completely in defilade. Oh yeah, it's all coming together. Okay. To next up, I will personally send hate mail to Gaijin CEOs. What does Mrs. Udintsev have anything to do with this? And here's the other thing, too. As cool as the Type 10 is, it's not going to fix Japan's problem. Hell, I can't imagine that the Type 10's armor is going to be any better, or, like, actually, I'm for sure certain that the Type 10's armor is not going to be any better than the Type 90. I'm calling it right now. People were asking about the M163. Well, now. Alright, I gotta admit, I kinda like that.
Yes, a hit.
I don't mind it. I don't think it actually sounds that bad. I mean, okay, I can see that the mechanism, the electric motor is way too loud. Still, I don't mind it all that much. You definitely know it's firing, that's for damn sure. It's really funny in combat mission when you use these things against BMPs. Because in combat mission Cold War, one of these things rolls up on some BMPs and just shreds the entire platoon. At least at relatively close range. At long range, the BMPs just blast this thing with an ATGM or with a 73mm shell. I changed the rate of fire. Oh, there's really not much of a difference. There's like no difference whatsoever. Yeah, there's like next to no difference between this and the between the low rate of fire and the high rate of fire. Kind of disappointing. AV8A? Do I even have the AV8A? Ah, this. Yes, it appears to have gotten flares and chaff. I don't know why it looks like it's all grayed out here, though. Oh, you know what? It's a... That's why. It's a, it's an add-on. So, if you want to have flares, you've got to sacrifice the middle bomb. Essentially. I generally go for mixed. I can't be the only one who, whenever they get launched off the carrier, like, slightly sideways like that they're gonna hit one of the railings and take the landing gear off. Also, yeah, you probably should have fucking closed that before you launched your ass off the carrier. I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest. But hey, at least you have flares. And chaff. So that's something. You get 240 flares now? That's true, you do get a lot of them. Like, that's that's a very substantial amount of flares. And chaff. Like, that's enough. I would imagine that that's enough, flares and chaff to, you know, keep stuff off you for almost the entire... Especially if you're in ground forces. That's going to be more than enough countermeasures to keep enemy radar off you the whole time you're flying. God damn, that's like a big brick. Yeah, and I imagine it has the aerodynamics of a brick as well. Is the sidearm the Sidewinder anti-radiation missile? I heard that thing was really shit. Like, really bad. The French F8? I mean, it's no different from the American one as far as I'm aware. Although, if I recall, doesn't it get better missiles? Yeah, it does get French missiles. So that's a thing. It's the Matras. But you only get 2. Like, that's really not a lot. I think I have the F8E. Alright, well here, at least with this, it looks like you've got a, you've got a heat seeker and then a radar guided, I think. I'm not too familiar with French missiles, so if I am completely wrong, please correct me. Yeah, I'll show off the Draken in a bit. Took off pretty quick. Probably owing to that, to the extra lift you get by the way it lifts the rear of the wing and stuff like that. And the forward-leaning flaps. that's the radar-guided missile. Wow, that thing burns for a hell of a long time. I don't know if this missile's actually going to have enough burn time to hit him. I mean, shooting a missile upwards is always dicey with kinetic energy. Yeah. And shooting a missile upwards is always very dicey. Especially fighting against gravity. Well, I believe a lot of that comes down to not necessarily because the F-8 was any better than those aircraft, but more because the pilots were far better trained. It's like a Spitfire on web. Very nice. You can see radar sidewinder on the US F-8E. Yeah, somebody told me that earlier. Let me, do I even have that aircraft? No, I have it on rental, so that's something. Okay, AIM-9Cs. Guess these are the radar sidewinders. You know, there's gotta be a reason why we didn't stick with these for very long. If I had to guess, it was probably because the Sidewinder was built for close range, and you could lock an aircraft up out farther than the Sidewinders could actually hope to hit them. That's just a guess on my part, though. I mean, here's the thing. Here's my view in general about new aircraft additions to War Thunder, especially the higher level ones. You're always going to have a subpar experience with War Thunder than you are going to have with a dedicated simulator like DCS. Yes, DCS is a higher level of entry, especially price-wise, but you get a 10 times better experience there than with anything you would possibly ever get with War Thunder. And it's a big reason why I don't bother playing War Thunder aircraft. I heard that they added a new system of aiming. I'm surprised you have to get so damn close for those things to pick it up. I guess the AIM-9Cs would be a good party trick. The AIM-9Cs, I think, would be a good party trick if you're fighting against people predominantly shooting, what's it called? Fucking heat-seeking missiles. And you can sneak up behind them. And then when they start popping flares and trying to maneuver, the missile still hits them. But beyond that, like, the effective range on these damn things cannot be particularly long. Come on. Lock the bastard, damn it. There we go. They're frontal locking sidewinders? Yeah, but again, like, while your effective range, if you're shooting against a target that's coming towards you, is definitely going to be longer, is it really going to be long enough to justify it? I don't have the answer to that. I'm just asking questions. I mean, and here's the thing in DCS, you don't need to read the 300-page manual to take off. There is an auto-start feature. Like, hell, I don't remember all the procedures to turn on the fucking F-18, and that's the aircraft I have the most time in. I just use the auto-start. Yeah, it takes a little bit, but it gets done. War Thunder will never be a polished experience with regards to modern aircraft and missiles. It simply won't. It's always going to be weird and clunky, and it's not going to be an optimal experience. Well, there you go, AIM-9Cs. Well, if you're going to try and implement systems like these into a game, especially one where you're fighting against other players, you want a polished experience. You don't want the game to be clunky. And War Thunder will never deliver that. It's just the way it is. Believable, but not fun, Iron. I don't know, maybe this is just me being far too biased, but having grown up with flight sims, when I do a barrel roll to get onto an enemy's tail in simulator mode, and the plane just rips its wings off because, you know, Gaijin physics, I've kind of had enough with this bullshit. So, when people ask me why I don't cover aircraft, that's why. Because if I'm going to do aircraft content, I'm going to do it the proper way. I'm going to go play a game that is specifically designed for aircraft. And specifically designed to model them well. Quality over quantity. Like, if you enjoy playing War Thunder aircraft, I've got nothing against you, all the power to you. Just know that you are playing a subpar experience. Alright. Yeah, it is subpar. Have you seen the amount of technical issues that they have with it on a daily basis? Like, it doesn't work well. Alright. Let me see if I even have the MiG-27. Of course I don't have the Sprint SD. Thanks, Gaijin. Maybe I do, because I'm calling it as it is. War Thunder aircraft is a shit experience beyond prop planes. Once you start getting into jets and missiles, War Thunder's experience takes a nosedive in terms of both fun factor and quality. It really does. It's just the way it is. Now, if you enjoy that experience, all the power to you. But the simple fact of the matter is that it's a subpar experience. Your best bet is to try and contact support Squeed. War Thunder support is generally pretty good about fixing payment issues. Yeah, I would argue that you can enjoy yourself in a subpar experience. Why do you think we play War Thunder? Yeah, we may have fun at times. Like, it's like watching bad movies. Like, some people just absolutely love bad movies because they love the experience of just laughing at it and ridiculing it. And that's fine. Just as long as you recognize that it's a bad movie. Again, like, if, for example, if you don't have any other option, like, War Thunder is your best option, say you're on console. Console is not very conducive to a proper flight sim, and War Thunder is about the best thing they got. You work with what you got. But if I have to choose between playing War Thunder aircraft and playing virtually any other flight sim, I will take the flight sim every single fucking time. Without a doubt. I can tailor the experience to be as arcadey or as realistic as I want it to be. I can fly the experiences I want. If I want to fly in the Pacific against the Japanese during World War II, I can do that. If I want to fly against modern jets today in an F-18, I can do that too. And I can have a far more fun experience across the board than I ever will with War Thunder. Okay. So, that is why I don't cover modern jets on a regular basis. Today, we're looking at it just because it's new, and that's pretty much it. I have virtually no intention of playing these aircraft beyond maybe a couple of matches here or there. I mean, I'm a filthy casual, Iron. Uh-oh. Wow, that was weird. That was very weird. Yeah, I can understand that. And I know that some people just want to jump in and shoot things, and that's fine. Just recognize that what you are playing is a subpar experience. Like I said, There are tons of people, including myself, who enjoy shit movies. But I recognize that they are shit movies. Or that they're just not very good movies. Well, here's the thing, you don't have to shell out hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars in your equipment. You only do that if you're really serious about it. If you're just a casual, like, I play flight sims once in a blue moon kind of a guy, there's no reason for you to go out and spend $2,600 on new sim equipment. Absolutely no reason to do that. And there are plenty of great starter sticks that will do the job just fine. For example, like in IL-2 Sturmovik, the new one, and the old one, for example, something like a T16000M from Thrustmaster will cover 99.999% of your use cases. And in DCS, it will cover quite a bit of that as well. You know, it's not going to be everything. You're not going to be able to put every single button in your cockpit onto your stick, by any means. And you may have to sacrifice some of the more useful bindings. But for a vast majority of what you're doing, a T16000M is good enough. Oh yeah, the Logitech 3D Extreme Pro, that's like what, 60 bucks? Yeah, let me go check. Logitech 3D Pro. So according to Logitech's website, it's 35 bucks. For a twist axis stick with plenty of buttons. You've got, let's see here, minus the trigger and the thumb button. Yeah, you've got 12 buttons. 6 on the stick, including the trigger and the side thumb button. And then you've got 6 on the base, and you've got a throttle axis. That will cover all of your World War II flight sim needs. For DCS, yeah, that's going to be a little bit limiting. But for World War II stuff, that's incredible. DCS does have PvP. Good lord, I can't see shit. Does it have matchmaking? No, it's just like servers. You join a specific server, and then some servers are PvE, some servers are PvP. I brought my Thrustmaster T-Flight HOTAS X for 30 euros. I think it's a nice stick. Yeah! As far as like a lower grade starter stick for under 100 bucks, the T-Flight HOTAS is a great stick. Or is a great system. It's an excellent value. Alright, is it actually going to lock onto that point, or is it just going to fall down? No, it's guiding itself. Yeah, it's guiding itself. Boom. I have VTOL VR, but I still think the physical stick is the better experience. Yeah, VTOL VR is very fun, though. As far as, like, only being able to use your hands to control an aircraft, VTOL VR is pretty damn good at it. And I like to think of VTOL VR as like DCS Lite. And a lot of the, especially because a lot of the very basic concepts that you end up learning in VTOL VR very much carry over to DCS. Like, being able, like, swapping between your different sensors and weapons, making stuff, soy, handling a modern jet aircraft, handling a radar, all that stuff can be done in VTOL VR. Granted, it's an expensive experience because you gotta buy the VR headset, but once you've got the VR headset, it is a very, very nice experience. Super elitist about shit? I'm not even being elitist here. What I'm pointing out is that War Thunder is a subpar experience, and for really not much money, you can get a 10 times better one. For the amount of time that people spend playing War Thunder, they could easily master a sim. Easily, without a doubt. Or they can, at the very minimum, if they don't want to learn if they don't want to learn and deal with a lot of the more realistic physics, games like IL-2 Sturmovik, both the new one and the old one, 1946, allow you to tailor that experience. You can make yourself invincible, have unlimited ammo, never have to worry about stalls or blackouts. You can turn off clouds. Hell, you can turn off takeoff and landing in IL-2 Sturmovik 1946, so that you can complete missions without ever having to take off or land. You just start in the air. War Thunder only offers short-term goals early on. Later on, not so much. Players using mouse and keyboard? I mean, if that's what you want, why are you playing a flight game? I mean, again, if you're one of those people who has literally nothing, all you got is a mouse and keyboard, you use what you got. And War Thunder early on is fine. But once you start getting into more complex systems and aircraft, War Thunder no longer offers a great experience. Oh yeah, Project Wingman has sorted out the same. If you're looking for a really arcade experience, there's Ace Combat and Project Wingman. Both of those are very good games in their own right. And hell, you can play both of those games with a Logitech 3D Pro. Seriously, if you can afford a premium in War Thunder, you can afford one of these. If you can buy a $60 premium in War Thunder, you can buy one of these and buy, like, the original IL-2 Sturmovik 1946 and have an immensely better overall experience. Hell, you can play Project Wingman with this, you can play Ace Combat with this. AAA game for a single plane. That's true. The price is very high for DCS. And I'm not denying that by any means. But you will never have as good of a time playing a War Thunder F-14A as you will with a DCS F-14A. Even with, like, all of the complexity turned way down, you can have a way better time in DCS with an F-14A than you will with the War Thunder F-14A. Opinions for those who only have a game controller at their disposal? I have a number of friends who only have game controllers, and they seem to have figured it out. Here's the thing, Venji. The day of the casual PvP game is long gone. Unfortunately, and that's a big reason why I stopped playing many casual games like Call of Duty and so on. Because once you start making the game casual and available to the lowest common denominator, it simply becomes a matter of how long it takes before people start being sweaty. Players will fund themselves out of fun, or will exploit themselves out of fun. Now, some people like their entire existence is around measuring themselves up against other people and being super competitive, and that's fine. If you enjoy that, that's great. Nothing against you. But at the same time, the day of the casual PvP experience is very much long gone, with very few exceptions. You can no longer come home from a workday, jump on Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and expect to face a bunch of casual players who are just shooting the shit and having a good time. A vast majority of these people are there to compete. Which is why Enlisted is one of the few PvP shooters that I actually play, because it is, in general, relatively casual by comparison. I would argue that War Thunder is only a casual experience at the lower tiers. Once you start getting into the higher tiers, it is everything but a casual experience. People are just high and having fun and... Yeah, well, until you get the guy running around with fucking snake eyes, or whatever, what are they called it? Snake shot? Dual magnums, or what it is? Call of Duty and Apex has now become who can side strafe the fastest. Well, that, and the fact that, again, in my personal opinion, the casual shooter died a long time ago. I would say that the casual shooter over the last 10 years or so has slowly died out. With very, very few exceptions. Can't wait to see me play Battlefield. I might stream a little bit of Battlefield, but it's likely going to be... The first couple days are going to be chaos as people are figuring out what the heck works. But as soon as people figure out how stuff works, it's going to devolve. Because the new aiming system in Naval? Sure. You can do that. Let me... Battle boats. There we go. Yeah, I liked the new system on the test server when I tried it out. Let's see here.
Gunners are searching for airborne and surface targets.
Huh. Oh, never mind that. I was like, huh, why do I have a,
Targets.
Actually...
Gunners are searching for surface targets. Gunners are searching for airborne targets. Aircraft down.
So yeah, now you have a lead indicator in Naval, which is actually pretty cool.
Said cancer will get out of your body.
Holy shit.
Diabetes will get out of your body. And a baby will get into your body. Woo!
Horde Pub, thank you for the 77, or the, I'm sorry. Thank you for the 3 subs. Appreciate it. If you got gifted a sub, please say thank you in the chat. Now that time it worked. They're still measuring the range, though. I actually really like this feature. I know that some people really didn't like it because you couldn't ripple fire. But I don't actually mind it all that much. Yeah, we're using the Baltimore here to test out the new fire control system that they added. Loki, cease. Although, it says that I can lock onto something back here. I don't know, maybe that's... Is that my own ship? It wouldn't even surprise me if that was actually my own ship.
Gunners are searching for surface targets.
Or maybe it's locking... Maybe it's just picking up... something. Here we go. You can go out to 150 kilometers with this radar, at least on this ship. Let me restart this mission.
All gunners, hold your fire. Gunners are searching for airborne targets. All gunners, hold your fire.
Okay, I don't know what they're doing. I'm trying to aim the 76s.
Threat in the air.
If I recall correctly, these are the post-war 76mm cannons. The weapons that replaced the Bofors. Yeah, these are the 76mm that replaced the Bofors. These things are fucking scary. I mean, not only are they 76mm cannons, but they've all got proxy fuses. Yeah, weapons designed to stop kamikazes. Yeah, so now now you've got your 5-inch guns. You've got your 5-inch 38s firing proxy fuses, and you've got your 76mm autocannons firing proxy fuses. I can't remember if I don't think they actually saw service in World War II. I don't think they were quite ready before the war ended. But I know right after World War II they were in service.
Done.
They came after? Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. Seriously, though, if the war had lasted long enough for for those 76s to come into play, holy shit. would have been a goddamn slaughterhouse. I mean, the U.S. fleet was already sort of a no-fly zone, but now it's very much so a no-fly zone. I don't know why it's screwing around like that. Oh, hi, buddy. Des Moines are going to be really scary when we get them? Yeah. Yeah, the splash effects have also gotten a complete overhaul. Man, now we just need some more updated U.S. dreadnoughts and super dreadnoughts. I'm really a big fan of like the World War I era and early like mid-war era U.S. super dreadnought battleships. I just think they look cool. Were they practical at all beyond shore bombardment? No, but they're funny. Like, they're just neat to look at, in my opinion. Yeah, Des Moines with auto-loading 8-inch guns is going to be ridiculous. Right, the USSR got Sprint SD. Oh, right, the Japanese got the Type 87. And people are saying the Type 89 got nerfed. Yeah. How'd they nerf it? Oh, yes, the Colorado. Damn, I love the Colorado. Type 89 ASM. Oh, interesting. No more fire on the move for the missiles. Okay. Does the ASM have a... Does it have a proxy fuse? It does not. Okay. So there's really not much reason to use it over the Type 79. Got it. It's an anti-ship missile? What was it? I've always been a huge fan of the Type 89's optics. Yeah, you can't shoot the missile on the move anymore. And here's the thing. Realistically, if you're going to be engaging enemy tanks with a missile, you're probably not going to be driving while you're doing it anyways. Because guiding an anti-tank guided missile like that is going to rely on you having a stable aiming platform. Which we shot at landing craft. Okay. I could see that. But at that point, I have to wonder if they're bringing in landing craft, don't they have fire support offshore to just like instantaneously delete you off the map? That's my question. I could see the use of something like a bunker busting missile. But an anti-ship missile? From an IFV? I don't know. It just seems like a It seems like a solution looking for a problem. At least to me. Supposed to be an ambush weapon? But even then... Even then, you're only going to get like one salvo off before the enemy starts raining down all sorts of fire support on your position. I don't know. Again, it just seems like it just seems like a solution looking for a problem to me. Like if the enemy warships are landing on your shores, if the enemy landing craft is landing on Japan, say China, if China is invading Japan, I think they've got bigger problems on their hands than trying to stop landing craft with ATGMs. That, I don't know, maybe that doesn't seem too silly. Maybe that... an ASM for a tank just seems kind of pointless to me. Kind of a quick solution to a doctrinal problem? Okay, fair enough. Alright, RCV. Yay! The Japanese actually have an SPAA worth a damn now at low tier. I still really want to see the M42 Duster. I want to see the M42 Duster with the, what's it called? With the fire control radar on the M16, like the range finding radar on the M163 VADS. Because that was tested. I think, like, if the M42 Duster got that as, like, a modification or something, where you could get the range-finding radar for it, I think the M42 Duster would actually have a place over the M19. But as it stands, there's no reason to use the M19 over the Duster. Alright, let's test this thing out. What do we got here? We're definitely going to want to do AP FSDS. Yeah, mini auto. It won't have the proxy fuses, it'll still require you to, like, actually hit the target, but it would be pretty fun. Yeah, so no stabilizer on this thing. It did have a stabilizer on the first dev, but apparently it was only the Type 87 prototype that had the stabilizers. Oh. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't actually think that would penetrate. Although, I guess it is 92mm penetration, so... Super stable without it. Yeah, I guess you're right. Hey, it actually got up a slope. Okay, here's a question for some of you. Does anybody else get the initial impression that this thing is actually going to be worse at 7.3 than it would be at a slightly higher tier? Because my concern with a vehicle like this at 7.3 is that it's not really going to be able to penetrate most of the side armor, especially at the heavy tanks, with the exception of being at extremely close range. Because there aren't very many light vehicles running around by comparison to, say, 8.3. I think it would actually do better if it was up tier to like 8.0 or 7.7 or something. Watch Gaijin see the statistics of this thing do really poorly. And they will follow their algorithm suggestion, and they will drop it in battle rating. In before this thing ends up fighting fucking Tiger 1s. Just calling it right now. You turn AM at 500 meters from the rear? Yeah, but that's from the rear. Most of your engagements take place from the front or the side. Very few engagements actually take place in the rear. At least it really doesn't take many shots in order to set off ammo. That's for sure. Also, if I recall correctly, this vehicle is designed to be a, like a scout. Like it's part of the reconnaissance units. For the Japanese Self-Defense Force. I could be wrong, though. Yeah, New Japan Wheelie Boy. ARV literally stands for Armored Recon Vehicle. It wouldn't surprise me if that was actually the case. Although it kind of baffles me that, despite the fact that it's meant for recon, it doesn't have a thermal sight. Like, what gives? Well, and the fact is, of course, is that the Stura Mill and the Dicker Max are extremely specialized. And in real life, they were a failure. Like, they didn't actually do very well IRL. In fact, they did very poorly. There's a reason why the Germans abandoned them and didn't build them in large numbers. Because they were found to not really work. Does it need the thermal IRL? I disagree. I think if you're going to make a modern combat vehicle and you're going to arm it, especially for reconnaissance, thermal sights are just a no-brainer. I think any new combat vehicle that comes out, or that is produced for any military, if you're not putting thermal sights on it, you are massively denigrating the performance of your vehicle on the modern battlefield. I mean, thermal sights are such a powerful tool. Even if you're not using them to engage enemy opponents, just for finding the enemy. Like, that's well over half the battle. Finding the enemy. That's the entire reason you have recon units. Type 87 ARV is supposed to have a ground radar for recon. It really doesn't need thermals for recon against vehicles. I would disagree there too. A ground radar for recon is very nice, and it's very good and it does have the potential of picking up vehicles, say, through smoke obstacles or through foliage, or not through foliage, but through smoke obstacles and visual obstacles. But for looking through physical obstacles like foliage and brush and so on, thermal sights are just a no-brainer. And by the time this vehicle was being built, thermal sights were a thing. They were not unknown. Or at the very minimum, they could have at least updated them to have thermal sights by now. I don't know if they have or not. Maybe they haven't, maybe they have. And yes, thermal sights do make the vehicle more expensive. But the amount of effectiveness that they provide for a vehicle over those that do not have one is night and day. And again, the Japanese were pretty the Type 89 or the Type 87 RCV and the Type 87 SPAA. Neither of these have thermal sights, and it really wasn't until the later models of the Type 74 that they received thermal sights as well. And Japan was definitely very much behind the curve. Uses more stealthy methods for recon. I don't care how stealthy you think you are. If you're lacking thermal sights and you encounter the enemy and that does have thermal sights, there's a very high chance that they will see you before you see them. Now granted, yes, drones are very much a thing. But even then, a drone with a thermal sight is going to be a lot better for at least finding something, even if you don't identify it. The point of the thermal sight is not necessarily so much to identify the vehicle, but to find something there in the first place. And then once you found something, you then switch to a higher magnification optic, or switch off the thermal sight, or switch off the thermal sight, and identify what you're looking at. Once you've done that, then you can go about figuring out how you're going to deal with the problem, if it's a problem at all. Like, the simple fact of the matter is that every engagement that we've seen between a force that has thermal sights and a force that does not have thermal sights, the side with the thermal sights usually wins in that armored engagement, or in that meeting engagement. You see that, like, you can see it most definitively demonstrated in proper simulations and in engagements like Desert Storm. Vehicles with computerized fire control systems and thermal sights were, without much difficulty, capable of slapping down anything that didn't have them. Yeah, Combat Mission Cold War is a great example. The difference between, like, the T-64 versus an M60 A1 Rise passive, like, the spotting ability is roughly the same. But the T-64 versus an M1 Abrams or an M60A3 TTS is like night and day in terms of their spotting abilities. The TTS and the M1 Abrams are going to spot enemies long before they get spotted themselves in a vast majority of cases. Assuming that both of them are looking at each other over some terrain. Now, if, like, you're not pointing your thermals in the direction of the enemy, then it's going to be kind of hard to see them. But my point is that if you're designing a vehicle in the modern era without a thermal sight, you're doing something wrong. This is like... This should be standard equipment for any modern combat vehicle. I'm sorry, but that, like... If you expect a vehicle to go into combat, and you don't give it a thermal sight, you are at a huge disadvantage. Could it also be that Gaijin just forgot them? That's possible, I suppose, but from what I understand, the ARV doesn't actually have thermal sights. Well, it's from 1987. Do you know what was being produced in 1983? M1. In fact, by 87, they were testing the M1A1. RCV. Whatever the hell it's called. (1978) and it had thermals. Yeah. In general, I found that the Japanese are about a decade behind, or at least during the Cold War era. They were about a decade behind in terms of armored vehicle technology in some eras. In some areas. The lack of thermal sights and the STB, like the STA-3 and the Type 61 that it ultimately became, or that the STA program ultimately became. This was a good vehicle for like the 50s and 60s, throughout the late 40s, mid 50s. This was a decent vehicle. By the time you get to the 60s. This thing is starting to become pretty long in the tooth. And by the time you get to the 70s, or actually by the time you get to the 60s, you really need to start looking at something like a Leopard 1. But the Japanese really didn't get to that until the 70s. And then it wasn't until the late 80s and the early 90s that they finally caught up with the Type 90. Now again, Japan has some unique terrain. Like, it's very mountainous, and the terrain is not very well suited for tanks, and a lot of the Japanese infrastructure was not capable of handling the heavy loads of full-on main battle tanks. So they've developed their vehicles for their own special use case, and up until very recently, Japan only ever intended to use them on their own sovereign soil. But it still, to me, doesn't excuse the fact that they were almost a full decade behind in tank technology. At best, a 1978 to 1980 design. Even still, there were vehicles in the 60s and like the 70s that were retrofitted with thermal sights. So even if they didn't know about them immediately, I can't imagine it would have been that much effort for them to implement a thermal sight into the vehicle. Especially considering how many vehicles have been retrofitted with them afterwards, after they've been designed and built. Now, I don't know, maybe they've retrofitted the modern variant, like a modern version of the Type 87, to have thermal sights. I just think that it's a massive oversight in the design. Especially considering that by the time it was built, the thermal sights were a known and understood technology, even if it was an expensive one. Japan went ahead and built shortly after this the Type 90, which, as far as I'm aware at the time, was the most expensive tank produced by anybody. I think these things were like $8 million back in the day. And an Abrams was like, what? I want to say it was like $4, $5, $6 million? Yeti might have been costlier. Yeah, well, that's Italy. I don't know how they I don't know how the Italians managed to mess up the Yeti as bad as they did, but 574 glass cannon. It was meant to replace it on the main islands. I think it was like only Hokkaido. Was it? Is it Hokkaido that is the largest island? God, I don't know my Japanese geography. Yeah, only on Hokkaido. The Type 74s were basically relegated to everywhere else. Well, here's the thing, Vengineer. They thought about I imagine that the idea came up. Hey, why don't we just buy Leopards from the Germans? The fact of the matter is that the Leopard is too heavy for Japanese terrain. And they needed a vehicle that was specifically designed to their needs. It's kind of like the Merkava. And the Israelis. Nobody else is going to buy a Merkava, because the Merkava is specifically suited to the Israeli terrain. Oh, you mean Italy? Yeah, that's an excellent question. I imagine it was more of a political consideration, like, we want to give our own tank industry something to build. Or we want to give our own industry something to build. Rather than just simply buying it from somebody else. Yeah. And building, and again, if you shut down your tank building industry, getting that knowledge back is immensely difficult. It's why the U.S. military has like 10,000 plus Abrams, and thousands and thousands and thousands of them are just sitting in storage, because we keep producing Abrams so that we don't lose the Lima tank plant and lose the knowledge gained there on how to build tanks. The parliamentary decisions from 1993 to 1994 are all, this tank is shit, but then it gets approved. Yeah, it's kind of like that. It's kind of like that in the Challenger. Until of course the Brits sold off all of their tank building industry to the Germans. Yes, the Detroit tank plant has been shut down for many, many years at this point. At least we succeeded. This is true. I give the Brits a hard time, because here's the thing. The Italians recognize that their Ariete is not great. Like, it may get the job done, but it's by no means top of the line. The difference is that the Brits seem to think that their tanks are the best thing since sliced bread. And they actively campaign for that. They actively say that the Challenger is the best tank on the planet, and it's like, no, it's not. What was the fucking idea of the Starship? The Starship, if I recall correctly, was a development of the M60. It was at that time. It was during that time in the U.S. military where there was a big debate going on whether or not the future of tank weaponry would be guns or missiles. Missiles were far more expensive, but they were a lot more accurate and had a much longer range, effective range compared to a gun. But the guns were cheaper and well-known technology, and really what they just needed was a computerized fire control system to properly use them. So there was a big debate in the U.S. military at the time whether or not to go with an M60A2 type concept, or stick with a standard M60. And so they tried out the M60A2 concept, and it didn't really go well. Like, the gun launcher was just... It was really overly complex for what it needed to be. And it didn't really deliver anything that our tank destroyer units were already accomplishing with their M113 tows. And later on, the M901 tow under armor. How about more rifled gun? I canceled for an M113 with quad 20mm with no radar. Man, I would have loved to have seen the automatic go into service. That would have been the coolest fucking thing. Oh, but wait, did the Draco ever go into service? Because if the Draco went into service, that's effectively an automatic just on a Centauro chassis. It's like, let's give our F-60s a low-velocity gun and a bad missile, so it's the wrong choice either way. Yeah. Also, no IFF? Aircraft ID was done by AI? Oh, God. Oh, that's horrifying. Oh, no. I'm familiar with the development of the Challenger Shrike. My point that I'm making is that the Italians don't hold any illusions about the fact that their tank is not the greatest tank in the world. The British absolutely do hold delusions that their tank is the greatest tank in the world. Now, there's nothing wrong with having some pride in your country's own tank, but making the claim that it's the best tank in the world, that seems like you're stretching it a bit much, kind of a thing, you know? Goes under the deck so it wouldn't fit on a vehicle. Well, yeah, I know that. I know that the automatic 76 was a specifically designed variant of the thing so that it would fit onto a tank chassis. Which is why that turret is so fucking huge. But it still makes me very sad that we didn't get to see this beautiful face enter service. I mean, how could you not like him? How can you not appreciate that little pupper face?
Caricare! Lui sta bene.
God damn, I love the sound.
Preso. Prossimo obiettivo. L'obiettivo è stato distrutto. Il carro armato nemico è stato distrutto. Sì!
I love doing that.
Il nemico è stato distrutto. Sul bersaglio. L'obiettivo è stato distrutto. Sì, colpito.
Wait, is he still alive? Fuck.
Il carro armato nemico è stato distrutto.
You gotta look at the M42 now? Oh, the M42 Contraro. I thought you were talking about the Duster. I was like, wait, what the fuck did they do to the Duster? Yeah, I know that the Contraro is actually pretty damn good now. I don't think I need to upgrade it that much. We get like the horizontal. Damn it. Alright. And the elevation mechanism. There we go. Yeah, I know that they buffed it. It's no longer fed by magazines, it's actually fed by belts. It's filled by, like, basically one giant continuous belt. It actually has a longer sustained rate of fire on its belt than the Whirlwind does, I believe. And it's got the same ammo. And it has the same traverse speed as the Whirlwind. Only 640 rounds and no reloads? Yeah. But honestly, I'll take that. I will very much take... And even when you do reload a belt, it doesn't actually take that long to load it into the gun. At least, per gun, I should say. In the bug with the Shackleton's engines? No, I haven't, actually. F3 games of TNT, absolutely horrible. I mostly meant the belts. Like, you effectively get the same belts as the Whirlwind. You get the Panzergranate 40, basically. Is what I'm trying to get at. Wonder why they haven't added the Chaparral? Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know either. Explosives and protection analysis. I believe you. I believe you, Jacob. The Chaparral? No, they're referring to the U.S. surface-to-air missile system. Yeah, the MIM-72 Chaparral. Literally just a tractor with 4 sidewinders on the back. At least I'm pretty sure those are sidewinders. Peculiar. Yeah, this thing was, this was the standard U.S., like, surface-to-air missile defense during the Cold War. Oh no, it's... So yeah, there's the Chaparral. I'm actually rather surprised that we haven't seen one of these show up in-game. Especially considering what we have for the top-tier US SPAA with the ADATs. ADUTs. Wasn't the US SPAs during the Cold War not that great? We had the VADs for basically close-in point defense, and it was good enough. And then we had the Chaparral for like sort of medium air defense, and then we also had Manpad platoons with or Madpad, not companies. Yeah, I guess they were platoons. Manpad platoons with Stingers and Red Eyes earlier on. Yeah, if you're reliant on surface-to-air missile systems to stop enemy aircraft from destroying you, yeah, it doesn't tend to end very well. It is pretty nice though that the Americans now have if you add in the Markova 3D and the M60 AMBT, you've got 5 120mm armed tanks at top tier for the Americans, which is pretty nice. All right, let's see how poorly we do with some of these. Is that how the ADATs got killed off? Yeah. Oh yeah, going back to the Chaparral and going back to the M163 VADs, it's important to understand that the U.S. Army of that period was a very different army than what it is today. It really wasn't until the 1980s that the U.S. military really started to get its shit together and started to create a professional elite army. Up until that point, we basically were a conscript army. How good is the APS and the HC? It's not an active protection system, it's a passive protection system, technically. Oh. Why does it have... Oh, I get it! Oh, no. Oh, that's unfortunate. That's very unfortunate. The APS is fucking visible in night vision. Uh-oh. Oh, that's not bad. That's not good at all. I mean, you're not really going to see it in thermals, but in night vision, you definitely will. Oh, that's a problem. Never mind. I literally just shot at a bush. I went up to fine. You know, I'm actually rather surprised at how well the turret armor is holding up, all things considered. Back up. Ah, damn it. I couldn't quite back up in time. That was on me. The armor seems to do rather well, though, on the HC. I mean, I would hope so, considering that it's a dramatically up-armored Abrams compared to the standard M1A1. But yeah, having a giant spotlight on your vehicle is unfortunate for trying to hide this thing in night vision. Although, like I said, with thermal sights, you're not really going to notice it.
Thank you very much.
I agree!
It serves him
Well, that's
right.
much there. Oh. That was probably to my front. Yeah, that was to my front. Okay, fair enough.
Allied forces have captured a zone.
Somehow we're winning this. No idea how. We are winning. No thanks to me. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Okay. Well, shit. Well, that could have gone better. Think top tier is worth it? I don't think top tier in general is worth it. But that's just me. It's nice to have, though. You effectively get another Abrams that actually has a fairly decent amount of armor. Although, the fact that this Dazzler... the fact that this Dazzler tends to light you up like a goddamn Christmas tree doesn't help. Hey, Speed, how you doing, man? Speed, have you checked out Sprocket? Why don't you turn it off? I can't. It's not an IR spotlight. It's supposed to be a an IR countermeasure, and you can't turn off the countermeasures. Also, I'm going to be on a day map here, so it doesn't really matter all that much. Oh, can you turn off the EPS? Oh, okay, never mind. I'm going to keep it on for now because we're in daylight. Station like an hour ago? Man. Speed, just put a couple of pints of Guinness in you. And Sprocket is the greatest game ever made. Sprocket is whack in all the best ways possible. up, K-Dog? You have made tomorrow evening's plans. Yep. Yeah, seriously, if you're like drunk or high, go and play Sprocket, wake up the next morning and look at what you built. Gaze upon what you created. You will not be disappointed.
have captured a zone. Allied forces have captured a zone. Enemy forces have captured a zone.
I wonder if the Chrysanthema if he doesn't use the radar lock and fires a missile at me, if it will actually be able to hit me or not. I know if he uses the radar lock, it should bypass the IRCM. But I think if he just uses the standard optics to guide it, I wonder if it will work or not. That's something I'll have to test. Damn it!
Attention to the map.
Ow. Man.
Yes.
Oh well. I got 3 kills. I'll take that. I will take 3 kills. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of like the M1A1HC. I didn't think I was going to like this thing, but the extra armor really does make me feel a lot more confident. I don't know why, but I feel more confident with this thing than I do with the M1A2. Not entirely certain why.
We're controlling most of the zones.
The new sounds are pretty good. They're pretty nice. German Bias 69. That's a great name.
Excellent.
I mean, F4F shot down an F-89. nice, and we're capping Bravo.
We've captured most of the strategic zones.
Yeah, you're long dead. Well, nothing ventured, nothing gained. Let's do this shit, boys.
On target.
Oh god, I hit the upper plate. Whoops. Ah! Yeah, that was on me.
We're ahead of the enemy.
Yeah, I fucked up. Oh well. Alright, let's see if I get instantly, like, blown out of the fucking sky with SAMs.
Defend the B point.
Oh, hello. Gotcha. He was camping behind our spawn, the bastard.
Attention to the designated grid square.
That's just rude. Uh-oh. Woo! Oh shit, that's a tree! The goddamn tree right there! Well, you know what? I got 4 kills. Fuck it. I got 4 kills. I actually did something. I'm happy with this. I never improve at planes. I don't improve at planes when especially when I'm having to fly fucking evasive because a surface-to-air missile could slap me out of the sky any second. Oh, thank you for reminding me about that, Jacob. Honestly, I think the J-35A might be a really solid aircraft for ground RB. Not so much for its ground killing capabilities, but because of its low altitude maneuvering capabilities. You're pretty much going to be able to outturn any jet at this tier. I think if you're going to go in for ground attack, though, you're way better off with the Saab 105. The tree tall enough, of course, he's meant to slam it. Yep. That's my job. Could one of the mods inform our Russian friend that I don't speak in Russian? I apologize, but I don't. Oh yeah, by the way, they added some more bushes, as if they weren't all cancer enough. But they've added some more types, so like they've added like banana leaves for tropical environments, for example. And they've got some autumn leaves as well. I don't know why I'm going to multiple different. Yeah. Yeah, this is the new R3. I love how everybody just immediately overreacted and assumed this thing was going to be the R3, when they could clearly see in the trailer that this thing was slow as fuck by comparison. This goes to show, like, how little people actually pay attention. Actually, let's take out the logo first. Fuck! Why didn't it have any APDS loaded? Oh, this is gonna be pain. Why doesn't it have any APDS? Oh boy. Oh well, we're mostly here to test the PVV. How much pen do I have again? I have like 50 millimeters of pen. I'm in at least a 2.7 game. Oh yeah, I should do that. No. This is gonna be awful. Yeah, I think they've reset my volume controls. Yeah, everything is like really high. What the hell? Hang on. Sound, my engine volume. actually rather surprised that nobody came down that road. They up the engine sound, as they say in the patch notes. I see. Makes sense. Trying to keep people from abusing the sound system in order to hear other players better. Reload speed of this thing again. Alright, 3.6.
Victory is near.
If I recall correctly, this thing is practically no armor. Oh god! We're good. We're alive. We're okay. All's good. I've heard interesting things about the BB-138. Oh god. There we go. Much better. Alright, let's see how the PBV handles things. Because I'm going to assume that there's enemy aircraft in the air. Yep. Oh god, is that is that the new BV? What my microphone was doing was it was cutting out what it thought was not human speech. Because I have a filter through NVIDIA Broadcast that cuts out any sound that's not human speech. And screaming is apparently not human speech by its definition. Miles is an alien confirmed? Yes. I kind of hope that BV survives long enough so that way I can fucking shoot it. Yeah! Screw you, I'm an SBAA that's worth a damn now. Yeah!
Just a little more effort, and victory will surely be ours.
Load up my AP belt. Not that I expect to particularly do anything with it.
Allied forces have captured a zone.
But, hey, it makes me feel better, okay? Hey, it worked! Ah! Okay, yeah, 42 millimeters was going to be enough at that range. I thought it was like 20. Oh no! Hey, I lived. Honestly, I think it might actually be better to just go default belts and just have a mix of ammunition. Oh, hello. That's not friendly. Ooh. may or may not have needed that. Oh, come on. Oh well, I think I have a backup. Nice. I did get credit for the Spitfire kill. Ooh. That's an interesting sound. What do you think of the SDRV M31? Is that the one with the 75? Or the, do you mean the M31 or the M41?
The Allied forces have captured a zone.
Oh shit. That's gonna be a problem. Oh, hello. Alright, I'm gonna focus on the low altitude shit. Damn. Well, it's not ideal. Like, the elevation speed is by no means ideal. But this is really designed as an IFV, and less as a, and less as an SPAA.
Attention to the designated grid zone.
Oh god. Oh no! Alright. Is he gonna come back around? That's friendly. Are you just gonna keep flying in that direction? Looks like it.
Let's keep the pressure on. Victory is close.
Nope. He appears to be coming back. Reload speed could be a little bit better, but I mean, overall, compared to what your other options are, this is fantastic. Like your only other options are basically like really slow trucks, or God forbid the finish thing with the 40mm with the slow firing early war 40mm Bofors. I'll take Yak 9B. Ooh, don't hit the friendly. Okay. It's a perfectly balanced tank destroyer. This PBV, man, not bad. No, I would say like this is pretty solid. If you're looking for a low tier SPAA that will actually work for Sweden, then this is pretty dang good. I mean, not like you really have any other options, but for shooting down planes, this is actually pretty solid.
Keep it up, and victory will be ours.
As Shadowtro said, the Anti-2 is a way better tank destroyer than it is an anti-aircraft weapon. If the NZ2 actually had a fast traverse, then it would hit an elevation speed. It would actually be not bad. Like the rate of fire on the gun wouldn't be amazing, but you could at least track enemy aircraft. But unfortunately, it's so slow that you just can't. Spitfire somewhere. I think I saw him over here earlier, but I have no idea where he's at now. I mean, not that it matters. Somewhere over here. Oh, there he is. Damn. Not gonna get my gun on him in time. You know what? I'll take that. 3 aircraft kills and at least, yeah, 2 vehicle kills. Not great, not terrible. Stick with I think 50 rounds of APDS is going to be enough for that vehicle. The question is, did you have your ammunition reset? Yes. You did. Yeah, 50 rounds of APDS will do the job. Is it set to get on a point late game? Yeah, it's a cool aesthetic addition. And the battlefield actually, you know, it feels fought over. You know? Let's see. Some people really wanted me to show off the BV flying boat. Oh god. My hangar does not like this flying boat. Yeah, it just kind of falls down and wiggles about. I find it super funny that all the bombs are off center. That might be why it's like leaning so hard to that side. Yeah, those are its only bombs. Universal. Yeah, boat. That is also a boat, yes. Hey, got off the ground pretty easily. While the cockpit is definitely a placeholder, that's pretty cool. I really like how you've got the kind of got the turret like right in the front there.
Bodenkontrolle, verstehen Sie laut und klar. Ende.
Wait, what the fuck? Oh! Apparently this boat has X-ray vision. Nessie better hide. Yeah, it doesn't really. It is kind of strange to me that they fitted the bombs all to one side of the airframe. I mean, that's 300 kilograms worth of weight on one side of the aircraft. That cannot make it balanced. I like straight. Oh. That thing actually has pretty decent depression. Because Germany has never balanced and suffers. Oh yes, this is true. I would love to use the sprue, but I don't have it. Gaijin sprued up with the rentals, and they didn't give me the sprue. Entire lower half of it is a boat. 9! Vive la sco... Excuse me? Yeah? Huh? Okay. Sorry about that. Somebody was talking to me. I was about to say 9! Vive las questions! But I was rudely interrupted. I do have the Vigan. Would you like to see the M6 linebacker added to the game? Sure. Vigan. That name is just fun to say. Vigan. Does anybody know what that roughly translates to in English? Or is that just a Swedish acronym or something? Oh, okay. There you go. Go with these rockets. Damn. These things have the explosive mass of like a KV-2. These 135 millimeter rockets. Thunderbolt. Oh, Vigan is a bird. I see. Interesting how they went for from the dragon to a bird. Oh yeah, also... There is a reverse thrust. I just have to remember what my, what's my reverse thrust? Oops. I just took a screenshot. Alright, left shift F. Yeah, so you can, the way the thrust reversal works on the Vigan, you can't use it while you're flying, but when your wheels touch the ground, it engages. You can actually prime it while you're flying. Like, you can flip the lever to activate it, but it won't actually activate until your wheels touch the ground. Which is pretty nice. Weaponry. Oh, that's under the rocket ballistic computer. Damn. Didn't quite hit him. It's kind of a shame that this is, that they only added the fighter version and not the ground attack version. Which I believe is the AJS 37 rather than the JA 37. Yeah, that got him. AJ, the S is the upgraded. Ah, I see. Still, I want to see the AJS. For Bolt or Tough Duck, which is basically a Swedish duck. Fair enough. Having CCIP for the gun is pretty nice, though. And having it toggleable between, having it toggleable between the rockets and the guns is pretty nice. Interceptor variant? Technically? I know that the AJ, the attacker version of the Viggen was primarily designed for pre-planned, low-altitude, single-pass runs. Essentially, like, you would basically program your target's coordinates into the computer, and then you would fly your way through, and then you would fly your way to the target area, unload all of your ordnance in a single pass, and then make an exit. Actually, if we're going to use the... I want to use the Sky Flash. I've heard good things about the Sky Flash, although I think I may have fired it from a little too far away. Oh yeah, there's no way that missile is going to hit him, I don't think. Although I might be... Yeah, no, he just turned. He's not... That missile's not going to hit him. Is the Sky Flash a Swedish AIM-7? No. Sky Flash is the actual name of the missile, but but in Sweden they're designated RB-71. It's a British missile. They look rather similar to Sparrows, though. At least at first sight. From what I understand, though, they are significantly better than Sparrow. Got quite the cockpit here. This is the way. This should hit him. It should be a Fox 1, actually. Oh yeah, it's on track. Got him. It's probably a good thing that this aircraft doesn't have its, or that War Thunder doesn't model, what's it called? It's probably best that they don't model, engine... Shit. Compressor stalls, that's what it is. Compressor stalls. Because, if you pull too hard in the Viggen in DCS, you start getting compressor stalls, and that's really what screws over. That's what keeps the MiG-21 from being as maneuverable as it is in War Thunder in DCS, because in DCS they've got the compressor stalls modeled. So if you pull too hard in the MiG, your engines start shutting down essentially. Because in DCS, you've effectively got one good turn out of the Viggen, and then after that, you like lose all of your energy. It does crank around pretty hard, though, if you ask it to. And it's decently fast. Well, again, it's one of those things that when you're playing DCS, you just sort of learn to fly around. You're like, if you're taking out the Viggen and MiG-21s to try and fight F-18s, then you just accept the fact that you are fighting at a disadvantage. And again, the AJS-37 Viggen that's in DCS is the ground attack version. So it is specifically designed to be engaging ground targets, not going after aircraft. The missiles are mostly there just to give you some self-defense. Here we go. Here's the reverse thrust. There we go. First turn on War Thunder? Huh. I mean, I haven't really had much experience ripping my wings off in DCS. I find that it very rarely occurs. Then again, I'm not trying to pull 12 Gs at 1,000 kilometers per hour, so... I don't know if the AJ can do this, but I know that the AJS-37 can actually fire Mavericks as well, which would be really good for ground attack. Can you take off on reverse thrust, or is Gaijin ensured we won't get an SK60B 2.0? I don't think so. Only the AJS. All right. Let's see here. Oh yeah, there's also the YAH-64 Apache. That's in the game now. So if you don't want to have to grind your way through Helicopter RB, join a squadron and you can get an Apache. Or at least an early version of the Apache. This is the prototype. And this is I got the P10. Yeah. Yeah, if you have the P10, you don't really need this aircraft. It's mostly just a collector's item at that point. But if you don't want to spend the money to get the P10, this is another option. Very nice. Oh, okay, never mind. I was gonna say, oh my god, it doesn't have thermals, but it actually does. It just has both night vision and thermals. The 30mm chain gun on the Apache is just so cool to me. I love the fact that it fires HEDP, so you can just fire it against everything. Go. The new wing trails look ugly to me. I don't know. I very rarely play aircraft RB. As I said earlier, I don't need War Thunder in order to get a kick out of an aircraft experience. POV, you're an Apache pilot in the Middle East. Let's see here. Oh, the German Alouette had a detailed cockpit added. Take a look at that. Hey! That's pretty cool. I imagine that would be very loud. God, these SS-11s just... they're so fucking slow. It's just so funny to me how they're... The idea of a German attack helicopter is literally just take Like the smallest and fastest, most maneuverable helicopter they can, and just slap some ATGMs on it and call it a day. I mean, that's what the Bow 105 is. It's 700 meters per second speed. Oh my god, yeah. We took a little bit of a look at the MiG-27 earlier. I don't mind showing it off one more time here before I call it a day. I mean, we can show off the 500-pounders again. The guided KAB 500s. Oh god. Yeah, it's an interesting way to do things. As far as I'm aware, the US does not have a TV-guided bomb. Oh wait, no, that's not true. We have the walleye. Yeah, we have the walleye. There's a GBU-15 too, I think. I haven't seen the GBU-15. But yeah, TV-guided bombs are an interesting thing because on one hand, yes, they're more accurate than a dumb bomb, but on the other hand, why not just put a guided tail on the back, or a rocket motor on it, and just call it a day? You know what I mean? Oh, it lost track. It's desperately trying to turn. I think I dropped that at way too steep of an angle. But yeah, it's one of those interesting things where, like, yes, it is simpler to simply put fins on it, like guiding fins on it, and then have a TV guidance system than a missile. But I can't imagine with the cost of those guidance systems that it would be that much less expensive than a missile. And with a missile, you've got a much longer range. God, finding targets in this is kind of a pain. It is cool how you can watch the TV track its target. Boop. I'm gonna go in for a strafing run because I haven't really tried out this gun yet. Pop out the air brakes. Make sure we're not going too fast so that we can't pull up. Well, that worked. And you're out of ammo. Fuck that tree in particular. I could easily see this aircraft being far more practical as a ground attacker than, say, the A-10. Hell, I think that the SU, in general, I think it, like the SU-27 or the SU-25 Frogfoot is across the board going to be a lot more useful than the A-10. Because once you drop all the ordnance off the Frogfoot, it will go past supersonic, if I recall. Goddamn. There is something to be said about Gatling cannons, though, for aircraft. Especially 30mm Gatling cannons. Point being that the SU-25 is going to be able to get out of trouble a lot faster than, say, an A-10. An A-10 is basically just going to kind of waddle out of there. Anyways, folks, I think that's going to be all for me today. I do actually have some homework I need to get to, so thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I hope that this overview of the patch was at least somewhat satisfying. And I will be back on Thursday with some more Sprocket. And then Saturday we might do some more War Thunder. We'll see. Either that or we'll do Thursday War Thunder and then Saturday Sprocket. I'll put up a poll on the Discord so you guys can on the day of, so you guys can choose what you guys want to see. Anyways, thank you guys for hanging out, and I will see you guys in the next one. Yes, and I will be streaming the new Enlisted update whenever that releases as well. Have a good one, folks. Take care.